Good morning, wrestling fans. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Hope you all have a good Sunday morning to kick off your Sunday Fun Day. Well, all three events from Saturday are in the books, and that is NXT Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, and AEW's All In Texas. Going to go through each event to recap it and give my thoughts. I'm going to start with Great American Bash. I thought Great American Bash was a pretty good show. I don't think it was boring. It was a good show. It kicked off with Javon Evans versus Jasper Troy. I thought this was a pretty good match. I thought both Javon Evans and Jasper Troy put on a pretty good, decent match, a good performance. I have no complaints about it. Javon Evans defeats Jasper Troy. Let's see. Second match was the NXT Women's North American Championship between Solar Ruka and Izzy Dame. This was a very exciting match. I enjoyed this. I thought Solar Ruka and Izzy Dame put on a pretty good performance in the ring. I have no complaints about it. I thought it was a clean match, no interference. Solar Ruka defeats Izzy Dame and retains the NXT North American Championship. The third match was Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks. Now this was an intense match. Both Ethan Page and Ricky Starks were all over the place because this was a fall count anywhere, so they're all over the place. Inside the ring, outside the ring, they even went out in the hallways in the arena where Great American Bash took place. They were all over the place. This was a wild match. Both men in this match, which is Ethan Page and Ricky Starks, put everything they had into this match. Very good performance. It was an intense match. I have no complaints about this match. Ethan Page defeats Ricky Starks and retains the NXT North American Championship. We had a contract signing between Joe Hendry, Trick Williams, and Mike Santana, and NXT GM Ava was overseeing this contract signing, and this was for that triple threat match at TNA Slammiversary on July 20th at UBS Arena, and it was for the TNA World Championship match. So it started out where each man involved in the match spoke. First, Mike Santana spoke a few words. Then Joe Hendry spoke, and then Trick Williams spoke. Each of them signed the contract for their triple threat match for the TNA World Championship at TNA Slammiversary. The three of them eventually got physical, and then all of a sudden you see Joe Hendry and Mike Santana put Trick Williams through the table. I thought this was a pretty good contract sign segment. I thought it went smoothly, went well. I have no complaints about it. I'm sure this triple threat match between Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship at Slammiversary will be a good match. It's taking place in my hometown of Long Island at UBS Arena on Long Island. So should be an exciting match. Whether Trick Williams will retain the TNA World Championship after this triple threat match at Slammiversary, only time will tell. But I thought the contract signing went pretty smoothly. Let's see. Fifth match. The next thing was the Obafemi versus Yoshikishi in Maimura. Hard to pronounce that name, for the NXT Championship match. This actually turned out to be a pretty good match that I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like a one-sided match because, quite frankly, Obafemi is a much bigger and stronger guy than this other guy. But actually, it turned out to be a pretty good, exciting match after all. It went back and forth between the two men. I thought that both men put on a pretty performance in the ring. I have no complaints about it. As expected, Obafemi won the match and retained the NXT Championship. So, and then last, we had the women's tag team match featuring Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence. Now, the two members of Fatal Influence that faced Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe was JCJ and Fallon. So I thought this was a very exciting women's tag team match. I thought all four women performed well in the ring. All four women put on a pretty good performance in the ring. I have no complaints about it. I thought it was an exciting match. So all in all, overall, I thought NXT Great American Press was a pretty good POE. So I have no complaints. Now we go to Saturday night's main event on NBC and Peacock. I thought this was a decent Saturday night's main event show. I didn't think it was great, but I don't think it was bad. It was decent. It kicked off with Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. This I thought was a pretty good, exciting match. I thought Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton put out a very good performance in the ring. I have no complaints about it. However, Randy Orton defeats Drew McIntyre. And then, right after the match, you see Logan Paul attacks Randy Orton and starts beating him up. Jelly Roll comes in the ring and attacks Logan Paul. And then you see Drew McIntyre come out of nowhere and claymore Jelly Roll. So after that happened, later on in the evening, it was announced that at SummerSlam we're gonna have a tag team match. It's gonna be Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. So this is like the third match that has been set for SummerSlam. So all in all, I thought the match was pretty good. I had no complaints about it. Next thing we had Jimmy Uso versus Sosako for the United States Championship. I thought this was an okay match. I didn't think it was that great, but it was a decent match. Jimmy Uso, Sosako put on a pretty decent performance in the ring. Like I said, I don't think it was a 5-star match, but I don't think it was a bad match either. So it was kind of like a decent match. So as expected, Sosako versus Sosako defeats Jimmy Uso and retains the United States Championship. Next thing was Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. This was a pretty good match. I would have liked the match to be a bit longer, but it was a good match. Unfortunately, during the match, Seth Rollins got injured. Don't know what the extent of his injury, whether it's a bad injury or not, and whether it'll impact him for him to compete at SummerSlam. But he got injured during the match. LA Knight defeated Seth Rollins. So all in all, I thought it was a pretty good match. Wasn't a great match, but it was a good match. And last but not least, the main event: Bill Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I thought this was a good match. Not a great match, but a good match. I thought both Goldberg and Gunther put on a good performance in the ring. Basically went back and forth. But as expected, Gunther defeats Goldberg via submission and retains the World Heavyweight Championship. So I assume that this was Goldberg's last match. That's what they're saying. So all in all, I thought Saturday's main event was a decent show. It wasn't great, but it was decent. So that's about it. And last but not least, the big events. And that big event was AEW's All In Texas. And all I can say, and I'm a WWE fan, and I really watch all AEW because I watch other stuff going on. So much time, you have time to watch wrestling. And what a show they put on yesterday, me and AEW. Almost every match that I saw, which was 9 matches on the card, was exciting to watch. I'm going to go for each match. Let's see, I'm going to start with the bottom. We had the men's Casino Gauntlet match. And I thought it was a pretty good match. It was exciting. MJF won the men's Casino Gauntlet match. The women's Casino Gauntlet match was exciting as well. I enjoyed it. The winner of that match was Ring of Honor Women's Champion Anitha, which is formerly known as Amber Moon when she was in WWE. So she won the women's Casino Gauntlet matches. Now, the winners of the Casino Gauntlet matches get a title shot down the road. Now, I don't know if it's going to be at Forbidden Door or out. But both Casino Gauntlet match winners both are a title shot. I guess at the main championship, which is the AEW World title and the AEW Women's title. So I thought both Casino Gauntlet matches were exciting. We had a fatal 4-way match for the TNT Championship because Adam Cole was told by Tony Khan that he's unable to compete because originally it was supposed to be a one-on-one match between him and I think it was Kyle Fletcher. So because he was unable to compete yesterday at All In, he had to relinquish the TNT Championship. Now, before that match got underway, he did come out. He addressed the AEW crowd, me and the fans, and explained to him that he has an injury and that he has to relinquish the TNT Championship belt. Once that was over, then the Fatal 4-Way match started. And I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought all four competitors in the match put on a pretty good performance in the ring. I think it was a pretty fun match to watch. And Dustin Rhodes, who is the brother of Cody Rhodes and also was Goldust when it's WWE, won the Fatal 4-Way match and is the new TNT champion. We had a triple threat tag team championship match. It featured the Hurt Syndicate, the Patriot, I can't pronounce it. But anyway, I thought it was an exciting match to watch. Good match. Hurt Syndicate won the match and retained the AEW tag team titles. Let's see what else happens. We had a unification match between Kenny Omega and Okada, and this was to unify both the Continental Championship belt and the International Championship belt. And I thought this was I think this was an exciting match. No complaints about it. Of course, there was interference, but I thought it was an exciting match. I thought Okada and Omega put on one hell of a match. Okada defeats Kenny Omega and is the unified championship. Okay, what else we have? Now we had a tag team match between Young Bucks versus Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. And the stipulation is if the Young Bucks lost, they have to give up the EVP titles. And if Ospreay and Swerve Strickland lost, they will not get a title shot for a year. So the match between these two tag teams was pretty exciting. I thought both tag teams put on a good performance in the ring. I'm very, very impressed of the performance that Ospreay and Swerve put on. I mean, I don't know much about them because we don't really follow AEW that much, but I thought they put a good match. The Young Bucks also put on a good performance in the ring, in the match. So Ospreay and Swerve Strickland defeat the Young Bucks. Let's see what else happens. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else happens. We had a AEW Women's World Championship match. This which featured Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. Now this was a phenomenal match. Both Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm put on one hell of a match. Both women put everything they had into this match. They put a phenomenal performance in the ring. However, Toni Storm defeats Mercedes Moné and retains the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, even though Toni Storm won and retained the AEW Women's Championship title, I gotta give credit to Mercedes Moné. She's that good of a wrestler. I mean, she hung there right down to the end. And from my point of view, I know her from when she was in WWE as Sasha Banks. But I think ever since she went with WWE, she's gotten bigger. And now I don't, just because she lost to Toni Storm and didn't win the AEW Women's World Championship, I still think that she'll win that title somewhere down the road. I don't know when, but I think she will. Because I think she's that good of a wrestler, a female wrestler. So that was a phenomenal match. And last but not least, we had the AEW Championship match, which was a Texas Death Match. Now this was a brutal, wild match. This is such a great match. Personally, I think this is the best match of the night, in my point of view. It was a brutal match, which I did expect. I did expect that because I knew going in, or I've been hearing that a Texas Death Match is a brutal match. But I thought both men gave everything they got into this match. It did get bloody. Both men drew blood. But I thought they put one hell of a match. Of course, you had interference involved between the Death Riders, Maria Sevilla, and we had two returns last night. We had Bryan Danielson. He made a return yesterday in the match. It came to the aid to Hangman Adam Page. And then also Darby Allin made a return yesterday and got involved in the match. So when all said and done, Hangman Adam Page defeated Jon Moxley and finally won the AEW World Championship. I am so happy that he won it. I mean, for all this man has been through, me and Hangman Adam Page, I'm glad that he finally won the AEW World Championship title belt. He deserves it. And not only that this was a big moment for him for defeating Jon Moxley and winning the AEW World Championship, this was a big moment for AEW because if Jon Moxley would have won that match and retained the AEW World Championship, a lot of the AEW fans will not be happy. They don't like Jon Moxley. They're tired of him being champion, and so I'm glad that Hangman Adam Page defeated Jon Moxley and won the AEW World Championship. And now I'm curious of where AEW goes from here. because I think now this could be a start of a new era for AEW. And I know the only 5 years old company, 5 years old or 5.5 years old, because it's still a young company. I think that this AEW is going to get even better. Now they got very good talent. I mean, and if they can get the storytelling even better, I think that this wrestling promotion, I mean AEW, will get even better and we're able to compete with WWE, because WWE is their competition, their biggest competition. So I have high hopes for AEW. I think they definitely got a bright future. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere, even though the WWE is the top wrestling promotion right now. I think AEW is right there. They're like second place as the in terms of the biggest wrestling promotion. Now, I never watched AEW wrestling because, between watching WWE wrestling and watching other stuff that I watched on TV, after watching AEW all in Texas, and it was such a phenomenal event, and I'm very impressed with the talent that from AEW put on yesterday. I'm definitely gonna make it my business to try to watch AEW more often, because I thought that all the talent that was involved in yesterday's All In Texas event put on a great performance. I give them kudos to all the wrestlers involved. So I'm definitely gonna watch AEW programming more often. I probably won't get all their pay-per-views because they're expensive. They're like 50 bucks a pop. But I'll watch like Dynamite and Collision if I can, because after watching AEW All In Texas today, I'm very impressed with the talent that were involved in that show. They're phenomenal. And one last thing, I think, and I'll say this again, AEW definitely has a bright future. The future's bright, and I think there's a lot of room for growth with AEW. And I think if they can get the storytelling much better, because this wrestling promotion will be even better than it is now. So all in all, I enjoyed watching all three wrestling events yesterday. The daytime yesterday, I watched AEW All In Texas on my laptop, and I had on NXT Great American Bash on my on the TV. Then, of course, at night I watched Saturday night's main event. So I thought all three events were pretty good. Saturday night's main event could have been much better, but it was okay. Now tonight it's Evolution 2, which is a all women's PoE. So I'm very excited of watching it. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the first Evolution PoE, so I'm sure tonight's Evolution 2 will be just as exciting. Now, Evolution 2 is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and we're streaming on Peacock. Now, there is going to be a countdown show to Evolution 2. I believe it's going to start at 5 p.m., and it's going to be 2 hours, and it's going to be on both Peacock and on WWE's YouTube channel. Now, I think, I'm not sure, but I think there's going to be a post-show immediately following after Evolution 2. If that's the case, then that will be on Peacock and WWE's YouTube channel. So I'm looking forward to watching Evolution 2 tonight. It should be exciting. So that's about it. Before I end this video, please, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow my channel with subscribers, so if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great Sunday.